idea?
The answer right away is no. They say,
No,
never use
don't
butter,
do that.
never use mayonnaise, mineral oil, vegetable, no. It says anything not specifically made to clean plant leaves, because these things clog this stomata, and that makes plants not able to breathe, not able to get the oxygen in, and actually they produce oxygen, not be able to get carbon dioxide, I guess, that makes plants grow. But it does say there are commercial plant shine products available, but even these should not, they're good,
They're okay.
they're terrific, but they shouldn't be used on what I'll call a furry plant. Anything that's fuzzy or soft leaves should never be cleaned with any kind of products, even with the commercial products. It says dusting plants weekly with a feather duster can help keep the leaves clean. Washing under a gentle spray and letting them drip dry works well also. But this is one of the questions, again, the kind of questions that you will find in this incredible book that we've put together with our friends at Cleveland Botanical Garden.
Well, you know, it's talking about one of those fuzzy leaf plants that you shouldn't shine the leaves with any kind of commercial product. African violets is one of those, and there's a really good answer here in the this Gardener's Guide to Northeast Ohio about African violets, about their leaves. And I have this problem, and that is when the leaves touch the edge of the pot, they tend to rot a little bit. They turn brown around the edges, and then the whole leaf will eventually die. And is that normal? Well, the book says that it happens quite often with the African violets, and the reason is because salts accumulate on the edge of the pot, and they burn the leaves where they come in contact with the pot. And you know, when we talked earlier in the show, we talked about using aluminum foil around a pot to keep your cats out of the plant inside the house. Another use for aluminum foil is with the African violets. Wrap the rim of the pot with wax paper or aluminum foil, and then you don't have that problem with the leaves coming in contact with the salts on the pot.
Another great idea. It will come your way with the $60 pledge or in the complete package at the $180 level. We hope you'll think about that, and we hope you'll consider when you go to your telephone charging that pledge on your MasterCard, your Visa, your Discover card, or your check debit card.
Entertain your brain and support WVIZ PBS. When you call and pledge your support at the $60 level and above, using your Visa, Discover, MasterCard, or check debit card, your pledge dollars go to work instantly, bringing quality programming into your home. As our thank you, you'll receive a coupon worth $5 off of your next purchase of $50 or more at WVIZ's Store of Knowledge, located at South Park Center, Belden Village, or Beechwood Place. Thank you for charging your pledge to WVIZ PBS, where you belong.
You know, Maureen, we've been on for almost 3 hours already, and a lot of information has come through the studio, but they don't have to miss a bit of it. How often does that happen when you can come in 3 hours late to a television show and say, don't worry, you can see it all? How can they do that?
You can see it all by pledging your support right now to that phone number that you see on the screen. We have people from Ford Motor Company here ready to take your pledges. We've had lots of people pledging this afternoon, but I don't think we've heard from you yet. If you pledge at that $180 level, that's a real bargain today, because not only does that get you all the programming that you depend on at WVIZ PBS 365 days a year, but it can get you these 3 thank you gifts if you would like to request them. The Gardener's Guide to Northeast Ohio, which is this loose-leaf book that's been put together with the articles that the Botanical Garden in Cleveland has been sending to their members monthly for the last 20 years. It is full of expert advice compiled from the Cleveland Botanical Garden, so it's very specific to Northeast Ohio. It helps you know what to do in your very own garden, which is not the kind of information that you necessarily get from every book that you might go out and purchase.
And you'll also get the home video, and that's really spectacular, because that's why I was saying for 3 hours you've missed a lot, but everything that's been on the program so far is going to be there for you. You're going to have this video with every gardening segment, every professional who's come through the studio this day to help instruct you in the various areas that we've gone over so far will be on that home video, and that will come your way also at that $180 pledge.
And then you'll also get the Cleveland Garden Handbook, which is expert local advice on growing a beautiful lawn and garden in Northeast Ohio. It contains different information from what you receive in the Gardener's Guide that is put together by the Cleveland Botanical Garden, because this goes into more areas of information. It goes into resources in the area. What greenhouses are there available? What plant sources? More information on a landscape calendar. There are even recipes in here, things you can make from things you grow right in your very own garden. That's really a personal thing
It really
to be
is.
able to bring things in from your garden and be able to share them with others, either through recipes or through just the beauty.
In its own way, it's almost the same kind of feeling that the artist gets, that starts with a blank slate and paints this wonderful thing
absolutely.
that's shared.
Look
A
what
garden
I
is
did.
the same way. It's just dirt at the beginning of the year. I'm sorry,
Soil.
at the beginning of the year. And by the time this season is over, it's just producing things for your family and friends. I was just looking back here, finding out all the great things people have missed, like sowing seeds indoors and growing houseplants and garden tools and annuals and perennials and all that great stuff that you've missed. But you'll be able to get it if you get to the home video of the program right now. They tell us it's time to go back out to the greenhouse with our friend Angelo Petiti, who is out there this time talking about plant propagation, which is something that everyone can do. It's really simple if you just pay attention to some simple tips that Angelo will share with us in just a moment.
Well, Jeremy and I are back in the greenhouse, and right now we're going to talk about plant propagation and forcing. And plant propagation is what, Jeremy?
It's an easy way to grow plants from one that you already have.
And then forcing is a way to get your bulbs to bloom indoors, is that it?
Exactly. It's almost like growing plants on your schedule, not on Mother Nature's.
Okay, and joining us again is Angelo Petiti, who's going to show us some simple techniques that you can do at home. And Angelo, where do we start?
Well, in the propagating plant, probably the easiest and most commonly propagated plant are geraniums. So we'll start from that, and then we'll do some New Guineas.
Okay.
The first thing you want to do is get a existing plant that is mature, and you want to go through it, and you want to look for a good, healthy cutting, and we got one right here. Basically, you want to leave at least 2 leaves up on top, and then make the cutting. This makes an excellent cutting, and you want to leave about 1 inch below the last leaf. And after you've done that, you dip it in rooting hormone. And in this case, we have this is a soilless mix. You cannot use topsoil. You have to use a soilless mix, a sterile soil, to start it in. And you basically place it in there, and you keep it misted. Now, once I get this, go through it, then I'll show you how to keep it misted.
But tell us what this is again. What are we dipping it in?
Rootone is a hormone starting powder. Basically, what it do, it'll speed up the process of rooting that cutting.
And you can get that at any garden shop.
Yes, that's very, very easily available.
I think it's interesting that the plant actually produces this hormone within itself, and so when you put it onto the plant, it tells it to start growing roots out.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. And it makes things much faster and much easier. This is a zonal geranium, and the same thing here. You want to take a cutting that's big enough, and then in this case we have too many leaves, so we take some of the leaves off.
Because you want about 1 inch.
You want about 1 inch, and then we make another cut on the side over here, and now we have a very nice cutting. In this case, this also has a flower bud that we don't want, so we can go ahead and do the same thing. We root it in rooting powder,
Why don't you want the bud?
because the bud will take energy away from the plant.
Oh,
So
okay.
you really don't want anything there to take energy away from it. This is a New Guinea, and the same thing here. This is a very nice cutting. You want the same thing there, 2 sets of leaves. And on the New Guinea, all you need is about 1/2 inch. And same process there. You just go ahead and put it into the room, and that's ready to go.
Now,
How important is it to have sterile conditions with your pruners?
Very, very important. You want to make sure that every time you do one variety, that you do dip these in alcohol so that it stays nice and sterilized. And when you do another cutting, you dip it again. Very important, especially if you're doing it with plants that they are not yours, that you're not sure how healthy they are. But it's a very, very good practice to be on all the time.
and how do you know when they're ready then, when they've rooted and you could transplant?
Then basically what happens, you can start to actually see the new growth up on top. And one of the easiest way for a homeowner to make that happen is you take a clear plastic bag and you actually close the area where the cuttings are. You mist them, and then you do this about twice a day, like in the morning and late afternoon, and that will keep enough moisture. And then usually it takes about 10 days. And 10 days after, you can go ahead and remove the bag, and from then on, just go ahead and mist them. Make sure they stay moist, and usually it takes about 30 days for them to be fully rooted and ready to plant again.
Okay.
Another way to, on perennials, you can actually pretty much start a lot of plants, just a different way of propagating. What we have over here is a thick seed, and you can see it's nice and heavy. It's got a very nice root system, and we can do a couple of things here. The first thing we can do is cut the bottom off. By cutting the bottom off, we have opened up the center, and then going through it, we just go ahead and make a cut right through the center of the plant.
So that's probably a great way then to get more product out of one purchase at a garden store.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I would make sure that the plants mature first. You don't want to divide a perennial as the year that you buy it, but usually every 3 years, most perennials can be divided. You don't want to do it the first year. You still want to make sure that you have a real nice heavy crown so that you develop a real good plant. But this will make a very nice plant, and you now have 2 out of 1.
Mm-hmm. So what about the bulbs, too?
Now, the bulbs, there's several different ways that you can start the new bulbs. One of the ways is to you can either put them in a pot to where you just go ahead and plant. These were planted last fall. And you can go ahead and wait until this time of the year. You can pull them as you need them. One of the ways to really get a lot out of bulbs, you can actually do a lot of these pots in the fall, bury them in your landscape, in your beds, and then at this time of the year, just pull them out as you need them. And you can move them around anywhere you want in your yard. Just you can put them in window boxes, you can put them in pots, you can put them in all different things. And another way that you can start them, if you want to start them indoor, you basically take a container, fill it in with stone, and you actually place them right up on top, like this.
I think paper whites are actually one of the best bulbs.
Paper whites, and also daffodils will do very well. Hyacinths will also work very well this way, but they have to be pre-cooled before you can do that. But that's a very, very easy way. If you are going to do bulbs this way, it's a very good idea to go ahead and store them in a very cold storage so they go through the cold process and then pull them out. It takes usually about 4 to 5 weeks for them to come to bloom.
And I found that if I put them in a refrigerator for 4 to 5 weeks, way in the back where it's dark, it's a great way to do it.
Yeah. You can also put them in a bag, in a dark bag, in a black plastic bag. Also keeps the darkness in there. It also works very well.
Okay, so it looks like it couldn't be easier. You should try these techniques at home. And Angelo, thanks again for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
WVIZ PBS wants to thank the following for their assistance in the production of the Gardener's Guide for Northeast Ohio. Cleveland Botanical Garden. For more than 70 years, Cleveland Botanical Garden has been a source of knowledge and inspiration for people of all ages and backgrounds. Their gardens will be open April 1st to October 31st, and their new glass house and renovated facility will be opening in the fall of 2003. Petiti Garden Centers. With 7 locations, including their new Strongsville store, Petiti Garden Centers has the knowledge and expertise to help both beginner and professional gardeners. Smith & Hawken, committed to using their knowledge and expertise to help gardeners and garden lovers affirm their connection to the earth in an environmentally sensitive way.
What a wonderful, wonderful program on propagation, a wonderful segment, and as you saw also there was some big thanks, we say, to lots of people who've helped make this very special program possible. But propagation, as long as you know where to cut and what to trim, it's amazing that darn near anything can be propagated into more plants. I think people are really afraid to do that, Maureen, and by showing to do that, and then the little enzyme hormone, whatever it was that you stick the plant into, then you put it into the soil, and it can grow quite well.
It's like anything. It's easy if you know how to do it.
Very simple, and that's what this show is all about, showing you how to do it. Again, we want to say a big thank you. I know we've done it several times already, but you don't realize how much plant material has come into this building, and a big thanks to Angelo Petiti and all of his friends out there at the Petiti Garden Centers. They were all more than happy to jump in and make this happen, and it's a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff, and this is just what's in the studio. You should see the back side of the studio as each of our guests prepare for their segment. So a big thank you for all the things that Angelo and his team sent over our way. Thanks to Smith & Hawken also, and when you call in, we want to tell you again, and Maureen has it in her hand, when you take it the $60 level or the $180 level, the Gardener's Guide to Northeastern Ohio, there's a coupon in there. Why don't you talk about that?
Yes.